Hey everybody, Backpack Hack here, coming at you with another trail tip. And to kick off this camping season, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm not going to be sleeping on the ground. I'm going to be sleeping on my truck. This is the Yakima Skyrise Medium. Now this is normally a rooftop tent, but I've adapted it with a mounting system that I've built into the bed of my truck, so it's only about maybe 4 foot off the ground. And that's just great because I really didn't want to be clear up here working off of a big tall ladder like that. This is just the perfect height to get up off the ground. And like with any rooftop tent, wherever you can park your vehicle, you've got a campsite. So I'm going to do a little bit of a review on this. This is the first time I've been out here with it. I just got it a couple weeks ago. Been spending some time building the mounting system and everything to get it on here. So I'll give you a tour of it. So come on inside. Now, once you've got it mounted on the vehicle, which will be a separate subject here, there is a heavy vinyl cover that you transport it with on your vehicle, and that is permanently attached to one side of the tent. And you just undo it and roll it up, and it'll stow out of the way. And I forgot to undo the straps that hold the whole thing together. That's just one of the mistakes I make when I'm getting it new. But once you do that, it just unfolds, and you adjust the ladder to make it comfortable for you for the height that you're off the ground. A few adjustments to the base of the tent, and then you're ready to put the spring rods in for the Rainfly. Now, this original video has been sped up quite a bit. It was originally 9 minutes and 10 seconds long. So that's how long it took me, even with making mistakes and not being that familiar with it, to set it up. And I'm sure as time goes by, I'll get a little bit more proficient at it. But that's all it takes to set it up. It uses a standard telescoping aluminum ladder that is very, very standard on most other rooftop tents. When you go in the door, you'll find that there is a door, 3 windows, and 2 skylights. Something very, very unique in a rooftop tent. Here's a couple of windows that are closed, and then looking up at the roof, there is one open and there is one closed skylight. Now the interesting thing is you can look out the skylights even when the Rainfly is on the tent. You don't have to take the Rainfly off to look out and see the sky, because there is a clear plastic or type material on top. Now, the skylights work very, very similar to the windows and the doors. There are concentric zippers for both the screen and the curtain or closure, whatever you want to call it. And I found the zippers worked very, very well. They were smooth, and you could actually work them with one hand. And they're simple tie mechanisms that hold the curtain or the closure flap in place. And you can just whichever one you want. You can have this. You can have an open window. You can have it screened, or you could have it completely opened up. The windows work just like the skylights. I do wish that they were upside down as opposed to the way they are here, and that way you could crack them open from the top a little bit if you were in a hot, muggy weather and it's raining and maybe wind is out. But you could at least crack it open from the top, as opposed to the way it is now, where there's just no way to open the top up just a little bit, like the top sash of a double hung window. But this is a pretty standard design for tents. And I'm speeding this up just to keep you from getting bored. But having this mounted on the bed of my truck, what's really nice is I can walk outside and I can operate both the curtain and the screen from the outside, which is something that you probably would not be able to do, at least to all the windows, if it was mounted onto the roof of your tent or the roof of your car. So that's one advantage I found for having this mounted onto the bed of my truck, is I can operate the windows from outside. There's 4 pockets on the inside for your small items, so they don't get lost underneath the there is a pad that comes with the tent. To provide the tension for the Rainfly, it uses a pretty much standard rod that you put into a hole that's accessible in a slot in the base. You bend them up and put them through a grommet in the Rainfly, and that provides the tension and holds it out. So you're ready to camp in the rain. Now, it is possible to take the Rainfly off of this. It is kind of an extracted method. There are 10 buckles, 5 on each side of the tent. And then there are 9 Velcro connectors or whatever, I guess, on top of, spread out between 3 ribs, and you have to undo those. And of course, if this is onto the top of your vehicle, you can access those from the inside going through the skylight opening. It's kind of, it isn't the easiest to get to, but it can be done, and I'm sure that with time it will be a little bit quicker. But once you get the rods out and the straps undone and the Velcro undone, it's just a matter of pulling off the Rainfly. I missed one here. You'll see that in a second. And the wind kind of helped me too. But it is possible to take the Rainfly off. And with the Rainfly off, you basically can enjoy the outdoor more with the skylight. To put the Rainfly back on, it's just a reverse process. You put the fly back up, connect the straps in the bottom and along the top on the sides, and then go back inside and reconnect those 9 Velcro straps that hold it to the ribs or the bars that are across the top of the tent. And you can do that from the skylight openings. And once you get that done, you can come back outside and put in those spring steel rods to tension up the Rainfly, just like you did when you originally set the tent up. So you do have the option of camping with the fly or without it, just whichever one you prefer. The door operates a little bit different than the window and the sun skylights, in that there's a solid metal or plastic bar on the bottom that really helps to roll it up, and the zipper is not concentric with the zipper of the screen. It's straight up and down the side of the tent, which gives you a better seal for getting in and out. That way you can kind of leave it unzipped and just hang there by the weight if you want to. But it holds up just like the rest of the openings. There's a little fastening system there. It does come, and this is what's nice, it's about 1.5 inch, 2-inch memory foam pad that completely covers the bottom of the tent. And that pad has a zipper in it to expose the memory foam. And what's really nice is you can take this entire pad out. It's held in with 4 Velcro connections, 1 in each corner of the base of the tent. You just reach in and un-Velcro it, and then you can completely remove the pad from the tent. And if you want to, you can take the pad off of the memory foam and toss it in the laundry to clean it. Now, this is one of my biggest points of contention. The little speck that you see here pretty much is a metal shaving from the manufacturer of the metal parts of the frame and of the tent itself. And it was very disconcerting to realize that this is where you're going to be setting up your sleeping quarters, and you're going to be sleeping on this stuff. So it took me quite a while to get all that cleaned out. So hopefully Yakima does a little bit better in quality control on that aspect. Another downer on this was I ended up with a part of the tent ripped where one of the Rainfly poles pockets into the tent itself. However, I will give credit to the manufacturer. During the production of this video, I did receive an email, and they are going to replace the tent body itself at no charge. So kudos to them for standing up for their product. Now, one of the reasons I decided to go with a rooftop tent on the bed of my truck as opposed to on top of it is simply because it gets it down lower, makes it easier to get in and out for an old fart like me. Another reason is it makes it a whole lot more accessible from the ground, especially the windows. Not that it's very important, but it's nice to be able to open up the windows from the outside as well as the inside. Something you wouldn't be able to do if it's way up here. However, there's a downside to that. Right there. That's just an accident waiting to happen. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the ends of those off a little bit and put some plastic or foam tips on them so I don't poke an eye out sometime walking around in the middle of the night. Now I'm going to throw one other thing out here. I forgot, and I'm just going to throw it in, tack it in here at the end. is while I have mine mounted to the bed of my truck, it makes a great protected kind of area underneath the section of the tent that cantilevers out over the bed. So that makes it kind of a protected area so I can store some of my camping gear so I don't have to worry about it getting wet during a light rain or get damp with dew overnight. It isn't going to protect it completely. It's not closed in. A wind-driven rain is still going to get in there, but that is an advantage, is you do have a space underneath there. And if you do mount it to the top of your roof, that can actually act as a sunshade if you position your vehicle just right. You'll have plenty of shade to stay in. So with all that said, that's my initial review of the Yakima Skyrise Medium. They make two sizes, the medium and small. They claim that the medium is for 3 people, but it's I think the specs are 58 inches wide. I'll let you do the math. That just isn't enough room for 2 or 3 people. Like any other tent, when the manufacturer says 3, they mean 2, and when they say 2, they mean 1. Is this the tent to end all rooftop tents? No. There is no perfect one-size-fits-all. This is the latest, greatest tent. The reason I chose this is mainly for the price. It's not as durable as some of the other tents that I've seen for rooftop. But then again, I'm not going to be using it like some of the people that buy the tepuis and things like that are really heavy-duty use. I'm not going to be using this day in and day out. This is probably something that I'm going to use 6-8 times a year. And so for the price point, I think it's a great bargain. It could be a great entry level into rooftop tents to see if you wanted to continue it. Hopefully Yakima does expand their line in the future, and maybe they'll come out with a large that will sleep more than just 2 people, and come out with different accessories like other things that the other manufacturers have available. So we'll see what the future brings, and hopefully by the end of this season I'll be doing a follow-up review, and maybe some of my ideas have changed on this, and I'll keep you informed as to what happens in this in the future. So this is Backpack Hat coming at you with this trail tip. Be safe out there, and I'll see you out there on the trail.